opportunity to address the committee. Do you want me to speak now, or do I wait for my opportunity? Over.
No, we'll start the meeting first.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Ian.
So we're streaming now, okay?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So I have 6:31. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'm also going to take attendance at this meeting as well. Councillor Cross, you're present?
Present. Present.
Councillor Maxwell?
Present.
Councillor Olmsted?
Present.
Councillor Shipman?
Present.
Okay. So I'm going to go to item number 2 and
Mayor Pennell?
to state the purpose of the hearing. Oh, Cindy?
Mayor Pennell, can you just ask if anyone has any conflict of interest,
Okay.
please?
Does anyone have any pecuniary conflict of interest?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Christine? Okay.
So now, Cindy, this is where I read the,
That's correct.
okay. Pursuant to subsection 5.1 of the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, RSO 1990, and the Municipality of Calvin Code of Conduct, in force and in effect on March 1st, 2019, council members must complete this form prior to a council meeting at which they will make a declaration of pecuniary or conflict of interest, direct or indirect. Each member who is declaring a pecuniary conflict of interest shall read the statement at the appropriate time during the applicable meeting and then provide this written statement to the clerk. So I, Christine Shipham, declare a pecuniary conflict of interest with this Committee of Adjustment meeting on the 8th of June, 2021. I'm making this declaration because I live on the same road as the applicant, and I would like to remove myself from the decision-making voting in this matter. I confirm that I will not vote on the matter. I will not take part in discussion on any question in respect of the matter, and I will not attempt in any way, whether before, during, or after the meeting, to influence the voting on any such question.
Okay, thank you. So can you turn off your audio and video then, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where am I? As soon as I find me, I will do that.
Down at the bottom left corner.
There we go. There I am.
So I'm going to move on to number 2 then. And it's, I'm supposed to state the purpose of the hearing. So I'll just read number 2. The municipality has received an application for a minor variance to zoning bylaw number 2000-11, February 27, 2001, amendment bylaw number 2008-011 of June 10, 2008, and amendment bylaw number 2010-008 of March 9, 2010, on lands legally described as Concession 7, part of Lot 17, Plan 36M525, Lot 3, including RP 36R9935, Part 1, Municipality of Calvin, located at 89 Booth Road, west side of Highway 630 on Smith Lake. The proposed minor variance will allow a reduction of frontage distance between a single detached dwelling plus deck and the shoreline from 30 meters to approximately 28.04 meters. This request is being made in an effort to save and protect large white pine and spruce trees at the back of the single detached dwelling and allow for provisions of an 8-foot deck in the front of the single detached dwelling. So next item on the agenda is number 3. And if Mr. Brown wishes, he has approximately 10 minutes to explain his situation to us.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to address this committee. The clerk has very well laid out the reason we were asking for consideration for a minor variance to the conditions set out in the building bylaw. I'm sure most of us value the beauty of mature trees. We have 3 lovely evergreens that are well over 100 years old. 33-meter setback from shoreline would necessitate their removal. By allowing the request variance, they can continue to live amongst us. The variance involves only the 8-foot deck at front of house, and this is because the shoreline comes in approximately 10 to 12 feet at an angle that makes that corner of the house not 100 or the 33 meters. So the proposed structure is well above the floodplain, and variance has already been approved by the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority. I talked to Valerie Murphy, and she said no concerns. I appreciate this committee's commitment to ensuring that we enforce our bylaws in Kelvin, and I hope you can be flexible in certain situations. Are there any questions that have not been laid out before you?
I don't have any. Do you have any, Councillor Cross?
No, I don't have any. It was very thorough.
Okay, Councillor Maxwell, do you have any questions?
No questions. Only concern is that the precedent sets for future development in that area. If other people want to build their deck closer to the water, will we have to allow that too? That's the only, will that create problems for us in the future of other people wanting to extend their decks out closer to the lake? Or that's the only minor question I had. But other than that, I have no problems with this.
Yes, I just want to say, like, neither yay or nay, but each one of these minor variances are totally separate from any other one, okay? They don't form an ongoing basis to do it for every one. It all depends on the reasons provided and the approvals from the different ministries, okay? But thank you. Anything further, Councillor Maxwell?
Nothing further.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Olmsted?
I just wondered if the neighbors were okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Okay. Okay, so it doesn't appear to be any further questions, Mr. Brown. Do you have anything further that you would like to add?
No. I'll leave this all in your capable hands. I'd just like to add that the only variance is about an 8-foot deck on one corner. The other corner is only about 6 feet. It's just the way the shoreline juts in so sharply that it appears with the 30-meter setback. So anyway, I'll just leave it with you guys in capable hands, and you'll do what you think's best. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody connected for a verbal rebuttal? Cindy?
No,
No?
not. And we did not receive any other written contestments or anything like that. All neighbors were notified. I actually put it out in a flyer to all of Calvin as well, and we received no requests for changes or anything like that. So the only things that we did receive, I specifically contacted, even though Mr. Brown indicated that he had spoken to Valerie Murphy at the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority, I also contacted them. I spoke to Paula Scott, and if the mayor is okay with it, I will just read her statement.
If you would, please.
Okay. So in regards to application for a minor variance, Brown, concession 7, part lot 17, lot 3 of plan 36M 525, including part lot 1 of 36R 9935 at 89 Booth Road, Township of Calvin. Their file number, they being the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority, P like Peter, M like Mary, V like Victor 1, dash C like Charlie, A like Apple, dash 21. The North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority has received and reviewed the above-mentioned application seeking relief from the municipality's zoning bylaw. The proposed minor variance will allow a reduction of the frontage from 30 meters to 28.04 meters in order to save and protect large white pine and spruce trees at the back of the single detached dwelling and allow for an 8-foot deck in front of the single detached dwelling. The attached sketch, so they've attached a sketch. The sketch that has been included in the application. The following comments are based on a review of the application with respect to our delegated responsibility from the province to represent provincial interests regarding natural hazards identified in Section 3.1 of the Provincial Policy Statement, PPS 2020. Our regulatory authority under Ontario Regulation 177/06, Development, Interference with Wetlands, and Alteration to Shorelines and Watercourses, BIA, and Part 8, Sewage Systems of the Ontario Building Code. The Conservation Authority has no objection to this application. As you are aware, this property has frontage on Smith Lake. The shoreline of Smith Lake is regulated by the Conservation Authority as per Ontario Regulation 177/06, Development, Interference with Wetlands and Alterations to Shorelines and Watercourses, BIA. A site inspection was undertaken on the property on March 23, 2021. At that time, it was determined that development was proposed outside of the hazard area as well as outside of the approximate regulated area, and therefore a DIA permit would not be required for construction of the dwelling. For your information, sewage system permit 01-CA-21 was issued for this property. The system meets and exceeds the required 30-meter setback in the zoning bylaw. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact the office. So that was the response that was received from the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority. I also contacted the East Nipissing Planning Board, and their response was that the board has no comments on a minor variance for Wayne and Lorna Brown. And that is all the responses that we received.
There was one positive response from a neighbor, wasn't there?
I didn't receive anything.
I thought I read an email from a neighbor. No? Okay, maybe not.
It was from Valerie Murphy. There was an email included in your package that was from Valerie Murphy. She's from the North Bay Mattawa Conservation.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, misunderstood. Any comments on any of that information? Councillor Croft?
No comment.
Councillor Maxwell?
No comment.
And Councillor Olmsted?
No, it cleared up everything. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is for the Committee of Adjustment to consider the 4 tests for a minor variance, okay? And they were listed on a following page entitled 4 tests for minor variances. It was in the application package. So the minor variance application, is the variance minor, is the first question. It's 1.96 meters, so it's a little over, it's about 6 feet, I guess, somewhere around there, on that one corner of the deck. I'm thinking it would be minor, but I'll open that up to you. Councillor Maxwell, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's definitely minor. I have no problem with it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Olmsted?
Yeah, I think it's minor as well.
And Councillor Croft?
Same.
Okay. So the next question is, will it maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? So we do allow for minor variances, but we need to determine if this is going to maintain the general intent of our current zoning bylaw. I believe that it is. It's one corner of the deck that's going to intrude on that 30-meter distance. I think it's going to preserve some larger mature trees at the back of the detached dwelling. So I think that with the approval of the Conservation Authority and the Planning Board and no objections from the neighbors, I think that it does maintain the intent of the zoning bylaw, and it's for a relatively good reason. Councillor Maxwell, your thoughts?
Same, yeah, no problem.
Okay. Councillor, your thoughts? Councillor Cross?
Oh, I didn't hear you say Cross. No, the same. I think it's minor.
Okay. And Councillor Olmsted?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Next and last, will it maintain the general intent and purpose of the official plan? And it does, but Councillor Cross, your thoughts?
I think it's fine.
Okay. Councillor Olmsted?
Yeah, it's good.
Councillor Maxwell?
I think it does maintain the general intent of the official plan. Now, there is something in the official plan about large trees around your residence, about the fire protection, where you're not allowed to have large trees in a certain area of the new dwelling. I'm not sure how that fits in, but I don't think your official plan is in effect yet, isn't it? Anyway,
No, not the new one.
That's up to them to deal with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. The new one, you have to cut down the trees around your house or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with everything.
Okay. So the last question is it desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land, building, or structure? So that's for this home and this deck on this piece of property. Councillor Cross.
I believe so.
Councillor Olmsted.
I mean, it's appropriate.
And Councillor Maxwell?
Yes, okay.
I believe it does as well. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is to make a decision or decision to be made within 10 days of the hearing. At least 3 members must concur. The last date to appeal this decision to the LPAT is 20 days after the date of this decision. So are we prepared to move ahead with this evening? I'm going to ask the question of everyone. Councillor Cross, it seems like we are, but Councillor Cross?
Yes, I'm prepared to move ahead.
And Councillor Maxwell?
Yes.
And Councillor Olmsted?
Yes.
Okay, I am as well. So there's a committee of adjustment decision. Okay, so
I've prepared this just to try and help things along. If council would like to change anything that I've written here, please feel free to let me know.
there didn't seem to be any conditions that anyone wished to bring forward, but I'm going to pass that along to everyone. Councilor Maxwell, do you have any conditions we should be looking at?
Not that I can see, no.
Okay. And Councillor Olmsted, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think they went over and above. It's good.
Okay. And Councillor Cross, your thoughts?
It's all good.
Okay. I'd like to move ahead with it as well. So reading the proposed revised official plan with respect to the scope of permitted use and criteria of development with respect to meets the first test, second test, and given compliance with permitted use with the compliance with the applicable zoning bylaws and the exception that will not otherwise prejudice public health and safety. The variance is minor, as there are no on-site or off-site impacts of any significance that would affect the development. The fourth test will be met since the intent is to provide for a permanent dwelling house on the lot. So the next steps here is that we each councillor or each member of the committee would give our decision moving forward. Is that correct, Cindy?
Correct. Is council okay with the reasons that have been written in the decision?
Well, let's ask. Councillor Maxwell.
Yes, I'm good with it. I'm okay with the reasons, sir.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Cross, your thought?
I'm good with it.
Okay, and Councillor Olmsted?
Yep, it's okay, yes.
Okay, and I am as well. So what's next, Cindy?
We would just go around and make sure everybody's okay with the decision, excuse me, and I will put their name in beside the committee member, saying that they concur with the decision.
Okay. So that's all for this meeting then?
Yeah, as long as everybody's okay. The last part of the decision is that as you stated earlier, Mayor Pennell, there's a 20-day period that anyone can appeal this decision. The last day for someone to appeal to the LPAT, the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, would be June 28th. So as long as no one puts forth an appeal before that time, this decision will follow through, and Mr. and Mrs. Brown can move forward with their dwelling.
Okay. Okay, thanks very much.
All of council is okay with me putting their names in here?
Yes.
Councillor Maxwell?
Yes.
Councillor
Yes.
Olmsted?
Yes.
Councillor Cross?
Yes.
And I am as well.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the last item on the agenda then is the adjournment. Okay. So I'll need a mover and a seconder to adjourn the meeting. Councillor Cross, can you move this resolution, please?
Yes, I can.
Councillor Olmsted, can you second it, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so we have this resolution moved by Councillor Cross, second by Councillor Olmsted, that this hearing of the Committee of Adjustment now be adjourned at 6:55 p.m. Okay, any discussion on this, Councillor Cross?
No discussion.
Councillor Maxwell?
No discussion.
Councillor Olmsted?
No discussion.
And, okay, so that's everyone. So I'll call this for a vote to approve this resolution. Councillor Cross, do you vote yes or not, no to approve?
Yes.
And Councillor Maxwell, yes or no to approve?
Yes.
Okay. And Councillor Olmsted, yes or no to approve?
Yes.
Okay, and I vote yes as well. So this resolution is passed. Thank you, everyone. So now we're going to log out and we'll connect through our regular meeting, and it's scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. So see you in a few minutes.
Fast.
Okay?